Hey everyone, Ridden here, and thank you for coming. And tonight we're going to be taking a deeper look at a lesser known science fiction drama film that I have been looking forward to all 2021. Set in the very near future, Mahershala Ali portrays father and husband Cameron Turner, who is unfortunately diagnosed with a terminal illness, and as a result ends up in the terrible vice of sharing his condition with his wife or replacing himself with an identical clone with all of his memories, sparing his family the doom and grief of his loss. Starring the aforementioned Mahershala Ali, as well as Naomi Harris as his lovely wife Poppy Turner, Awkwafina as Cameron's unexpected, also ill and formerly cloned companion Kate, Glenn Close as the director of human cloning, and Adam Beach as the assistant Dalton. Apple TV's latest trek into the realm of science fiction promises to tug on the average viewer's heartstrings. Here are my thoughts on Benjamin Cleary's Swan Song. Welcome back everyone. This holiday season I had the pleasure of more downtime than usual, and I of course saw that as an opportunity to get caught up on the many intriguing films we've been delighted with this last month of 2021. One of those films is the latest project of director Benjamin Cleary, titled Swan Song. Now, before I get into my thoughts on this film, let me say that I have actually been looking forward to this movie for quite some time, ever since I saw the initial trailer a few months back. Mahershala Ali is one of the few actors and actresses where whenever I see a project with him attached, I will undeniably give it a watch regardless of if the trailer or plot appeals to me off the bat. He joins this elite category of performers with the likes of Denzel Washington, Will Smith, Lupita Nyong'o, the late Chadwick Boseman, Rosario Dawson, Halle Berry, Keanu Reeves, and a few others I won't labor to mention at this time. Returning to the subject at hand, Swan Song turned out to be even more of a thrill than I expected it to be. I'll say now, there aren't many action scenes, but if you love a good emotional, thought-provoking drama, this one is for you. I came in knowing that Ali and Harris would no doubt bring their own personal presences and shares of magic to the movie, and in that regard, I was definitely not disappointed. The film opens with one of the more heartwarming relationship origins I've ever witnessed, and is in every way the romantic standout scene of the year for me in 2021, rivaled only by the likes of the relationship origin story of Shang-Chi's parents we saw earlier this year. The scene plays out beautifully, and the real genius behind it all is the brevity of dialogue and sleight of hand at play, because there are little to no words exchanged, and even the viewer gets caught up in the sequence of events along with Cameron before the realization of it all hits. I don't want to spoil it for you, so for now we'll just refer to it as the candy bar scene.
Thank you, bro.
comme ça. Il faut que tu ailles.
The plot of the movie really works for me. I am not typically a fan of movies where the viewer can tell most of the shots, if not all, take place in a very limited amount of locations. In this movie, that is surely the case, as we really only see the Turner residence and the cloning facility with a smattering of other minor destinations. And it ultimately didn't bother me much, as the dialogue between the characters and the flow of the scenes kept my mind on the go and never really allowed me to settle much. The cinematography was also very well done, with some very beautifully complex while yet simple shots that aided in the overall aura of the movie. The acting was superb, as to be expected. Mahershala Ali delivers a stunning and very convincing performance, both with his castmates and even more so with himself in the scenes that feature both Cameron and Jack, the latter of which is the name given to the illness-free clone that Glenn Close creates of him that is intended to eventually return to Cameron's family in his stead and assume his identity in life. Given the times we live in, the plausibility of it all really does seem quite possible in the near future, and the conundrum conundrum Cameron finds himself in is one I can totally relate to. The themes within the film of love, sacrifice, forgiveness, and selflessness permeate throughout as we see Cameron struggle time and time again with the choice of telling Poppy or not, and handing his life over to someone else for his family's perceived greater good and continuity of life. The added element of Poppy losing her twin brother also adds another level of emotional depth to the plot, as Poppy and Cameron's relationship is tested in the wake of it. Dax Ray is also quite charming as the couple's 8-year-old son, Corey. The score finds itself fading into the background so well that I honestly can't recall much of it, just that it facilitates many of the emotional scenes well enough for them to have an impact, so in that regard, I would call it a job well done. The plot concludes much as one would expect, with Cameron choosing ultimately to let Jack go back in his stead, as his illness is only getting worse. I would also like to mention that the appearances by Awkwafina were well placed and performed, as she plays Kate, another terminally ill client whose clone has already assumed her identity and is out and about in the world with Kate's daughter and her family, whom Cameron visits in the process of trying to determine what's right for him. Her connection with Cameron helps to aid and ease his uneasiness in his decision and gives a good counterbalance to the various moods and perspectives we see Cameron migrate throughout the film. There is such beauty in life, even through what sometimes can seem to be the worst parts of it, and watching Cameron and Poppy find their respective ways back to one another throughout the film really resonated with me, as I believe it will with hopefully many who view it.
I would not be devastated.
Give me the lips, Poppy. Give me the lips.
Yes.
In closing, I would highly recommend this film for you and your family. I love the originality of the story, and I believe it was executed superbly with a stellar cast in a very streamlined manner that didn't impede upon the quality of the film's overall presentation. Naomi Harris has become one of my favorite on-screen actresses, as her presence is always a treat for the viewer, and Mahershala Ali was in award-worthy form as we've come to expect of his every outing. I will of course be continuing to cover all live action Marvel and Star Wars Disney Plus content and films from all walks of life that I have the pleasure of watching, and if you feel so inclined, I would love to have you back here week in and week out to continue to cover it all with us. Again, guys, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and click that bell for notifications if you've enjoyed our content here tonight. Jump down in the comments and let me know your thoughts. And while you're at it, be sure to check out some of the other content here on the channel. All of the necessary links are listed here below for you to keep up with the coming content and shareables. Please be sure to follow me on all social media platforms. Or just the one you use most frequently. We are slowly but surely building a community here, and I would personally love for you to be a part of that. And last but not least, we have a merch store. So whether you see something you like or just simply want to support the channel, head on over to our shop and grab something, or grab everything. But again, thank you so much, guys and gals, for visiting here with us today. I really appreciate each and every viewing minute of your time you've given us. There's loads of content we'll be sending your way, so I'll be seeing you. But for now, be blessed. And it was written.
Looking out across the nighttime, the city sleep inside. Yeah, hear her voice shake my window, sweet seduce inside. Yeah, send me out into the nighttime, for walls won't hold me tonight.